After seeing my sister become so obsessed with a celebrity that she wanted to steal an actor's ID just to marry him, the first thing that came to my mind was the nightmare I had already lived through once. In my previous life, my sister's obsession didn't happen overnight. At first, it looked harmless, even normal. She watched every movie, replayed interviews, collected posters, and followed fan accounts like millions of others. But slowly, admiration turned into fixation. She stopped caring about her own life, her job, or her future. Every conversation circled back to him. She said fate had chosen her. She said the world just hadn't caught up yet. At that time, I was working at the Civil Affairs Bureau, the government office responsible for registering marriages and divorces. One evening, my sister burst into my workplace with a look of triumph on her face. She shoved her phone toward me and excitedly told me that marriage registration no longer required a household register. To her, this policy change wasn't just a bureaucratic up-to-tea, it was destiny opening a door. Her plan, once she explained it, made my blood run cold. She wanted to steal her idol's identification card, bring it to me, and have me use my official authority to stamp the marriage certificate and take the photo. She truly believed that once the red seal was pressed, the law, public opinion, and even the man himself would no longer matter. She would be his wife, and the world would have to accept it. When my parents found out, panic filled the house. They begged me to talk sense into her, to stop her before she ruined her life and dragged us down with her. For days, I argued with her until my voice went hoarse. I explained laws, criminal charges, prison sentences, and the brutal backlash she would face from fans. I told her she would be torn apart online and abandoned in real life. Eventually, exhausted and frustrated, she finally backed down. She agreed to go on a blind date arranged by relatives. Not long after, she married a local man with a stable job and a simple life. The house returned to its quiet routine. I truly believed I had saved her. I believed I had saved myself too. 3 years later, that illusion shattered overnight. Entertainment news exploded across every platform. A woman had publicly shown a genuine marriage certificate with the same actor's name on it. She had successfully stolen his ID. Even worse, the two of them held a lavish wedding that went viral worldwide. People praised it as a fairy tale romance. They said love was brave and unstoppable. My sister completely lost her mind. She screamed at me until her voice cracked, saying I had destroyed her destiny. She said that life should have belonged to her. My parents joined in, accusing me of interfering with fate and stealing her happiness. That night, while I slept, my sister pressed a pillow over my face. My parents stood by and helped her clean up afterward. They didn't hesitate. They didn't regret it. Then I woke up. I was back in our living room, sitting in the same spot, hearing the same conversation unfold as if nothing had happened. If you don't even need a household register to get married anymore, doesn't that mean I can just use my idol's ID? My sister said excitedly. Policies are so good these days. Getting married is easier than changing your relationship status online. If I don't grab this chance, I'll regret it forever. Right, Mom? My sister, Lily, was stretched out comfortably on the couch, wearing pajamas identical to the ones her favorite movie star, Alex Reed, had worn on screen. She looked radiant, confident, and completely convinced she was right. My mother frowned, clearly uneasy, but she couldn't bring herself to scold her precious daughter. Instead, she turned toward me. Autumn, what do you think? Her voice made my body stiffen. The memory of suffocating, of air being cut off, felt painfully real. In my last life, I had tried to be responsible. I warned Lily it wouldn't be legal. I warned her she'd be destroyed by fans and public opinion. She listened, even that decision cost me my life. This time, I refused to be her shield. I smiled calmly. Mom, Lily is just being thoughtful. She's trying to find you a high-quality son-in-law. My mother shot me an annoyed look but turned back to Lily. I still don't think this is a good idea. You never know what celebrities are really like in private. It's safer to marry someone local, someone whose background we understand. Lily exploded instantly. She grabbed a pillow and hurled it at my mother. Local guys are ugly and broke. You just don't want me to be happy. She stormed into her room and slammed the door. My mother sighed deeply, exhaustion written all over her face. I'm getting old. She won't listen to me anymore. You're her older sister. Can't you talk some sense into her? I knew exactly what she was doing. She wanted me to be the villain so she could stay the loving parent. I gently patted her shoulder. Mom, Lily is smart. She knows what she's doing. Don't worry. From that moment on, I stopped trying to save her. The next day, Lily officially began her plan. Alex Reed was scheduled to attend a movie promotion event in our city 2 weeks later. Lily became obsessed with every detail of the schedule. She decided she would disguise herself as event staff, sneak backstage, and search through his belongings for his ID. The plan made no sense. Celebrities didn't casually carry identification, and even if they did, security would never allow strangers near them. But I kept my mouth shut. That night, Lily demanded money. I need $10,000 to bribe the security guards. My father briefly came to his senses. Stealing leads to prison. Even if you get the ID, he won't marry you. Lily didn't even look at him. So are you giving me the money or not? My mother immediately pushed the problem onto me. Ask your sister. I don't have any. From the kitchen, while washing dishes, I raised my voice. Mom, I transferred my entire salary to your card last month. When are you planning to give me my allowance? She sighed, unlocked her phone, and sent Lily the money. On the day of the event, I went to work earlier than usual. Around noon, my phone rang. Lily's voice was shaking with panic. Autumn, help me. Did you get caught? I asked calmly. Alex didn't even show up. But I was already backstage, and I didn't want to leave empty-handed. I found a safe, but it had an alarm. They locked all the exits and called the police. What should I do? I ended the call. Then I called my mother. Mom, Lily just won a huge prize at the downtown movie theater. You should hurry over. Greed worked faster than common sense. She rushed out with her friends. An hour later, she video called me. The background was chaos. Lily was struggling with a woman in a business suit. You dare hit me? Lily screamed. I'm marrying Alex next year. I'll destroy your career. I'm hitting you because you tried to steal sponsored jewelry, the woman yelled back. My mother shoved her face into the camera, panic written all over her. Autumn, come help. They're going to report her for burglary. I can't leave work, I said coldly. Unless you want me to lose my job and stop sending you money. I hung up. That night, they returned home in silence. Lily's face was bruised and swollen. My mother said nothing. For the next 2 months, she stopped playing cards to save money, and Lily dramatically announced that she had turned from a fan into a hater. I knew better. Lily didn't actually give up. Declaring herself a hater was just another phase, not an ending. Instead of watching interviews and fan edits, she started locking herself in her room, scrolling late into the night, and reading strange romance novels. She stopped talking about concerts and premieres and started talking about psychology, power dynamics, and fated connections. One evening, she suddenly knocked on my door, eyes shining, as if she had cracked some secret code to the universe. Autumn, you don't understand, she said seriously. Being a hater is a strategy. Men only cherish what they're about to lose. If I stalk him just enough to scare him, to make him feel pressure and intensity, he'll fall for me. Fear creates attachment. It's basic psychology. I looked at her for a long moment, then nodded. You really understand men. She took that as encouragement. From that day on, Lily entered what she proudly called her active pursuit phase. She tracked Alex Reed's filming schedules online and spent what little money she had traveling between cities. She hid outside filming locations for hours. She climbed trees to look over walls. At night, she followed his car from a distance, running until she was breathless just to stay close. She kept a notebook filled with times, locations, and what she called signs, which were really just security guards yelling at her to leave. Eventually, Alex Reed called the police. At the station, Lily stood confidently in front of the officers, completely convinced she was the victim. The road is public, she argued. Why can he drive on it but I can't walk on it? I just wanted to smell his car exhaust. Is there a law against smelling exhaust? The officers stared at her in silence. Alex looked exhausted, dark circles under his eyes, his patience clearly worn thin. In the end, he chose to drop the charges, not out of kindness, but because he didn't want to deal with her any longer. As he passed by me, he muttered, I won't argue with someone like this. Then he looked straight at me. Is the mental hospital full? Why is she still out here? Please keep your sister under control. She's not normal anymore. The moment we stepped outside, Lily grabbed my arm. What did he say to you? She demanded. Did he confess? Did he say he loves me? Did he say he wants to carve my name into his heart? I lied without blinking. He said he hopes I'll take good care of you. He said you've already poisoned his heart, and that it's terminal. He can't live without you now. It was exactly 44 words. Lily froze, eyes wide, completely enchanted. 44 words, she whispered. That same night, she went out and got those words tattooed onto her body. She said it was proof of destiny, proof that their bond was now permanent and undeniable. Not long after that, she came to me with another plan, even more elaborate than the last. Autumn, have you heard of the double best friend's wedding story? She asked excitedly. You marry his assistant, I marry Alex. Then we both divorce and run away together. That's when he realizes he can't live without me. Why do we need to run away? I asked. Because it's romantic, she said impatiently. Then it becomes the husband chasing his wife to the ends of the earth storyline. I don't like his assistant, I said flatly. Do it yourself. She exploded. This is my happiness. Why won't you help me? When I refused again, she dragged her actual best friend into the plan instead. Weeks passed. They never even managed to meet the assistant, but money kept disappearing from the house. One evening, my mother finally snapped and stormed into my room. I keep your salary to save it for you, she shouted, and you secretly spent $50,000 behind my back. In my previous life, I had believed her when she said she was saving my money for me. Later, when Lily got married, they gave all of my savings to her as a dowry because I didn't have a boyfriend yet. I haven't spent a single dollar, I said coldly. Only one person knows my PIN, my mother screamed. Your PIN is Lily's birthday, I replied. Everyone knows it. She spun around just in time to see Lily transferring more money on her phone. Lily didn't even look up. It's for the wedding fund. Alex and I are getting married next month. My mother froze. Is this one of those fake fan marriages? No, Lily said confidently. It's real. Look at our chat history. The profile picture was Alex's face, but the messages were obviously written by a scammer. Lily believed every word. Even my mother, biased as she was, couldn't deny the truth this time. She called the police. Lily had been scammed out of $68,000. At the police station, my mother cried over the money. Lily cried over her wedding. I almost laughed, but instead I called my grandmother. My grandmother despised waste more than anything. When she arrived, she scolded my mother mercilessly and demanded that the remaining savings $130,000 be withdrawn in cash and hidden. That night, I watched through the home security camera as my grandmother hid the money under a large potted plant. Hours later, a shadow crept toward it. It was my father. He quietly took a few bills and slipped them into his pocket. When I confronted him later, he begged me not to tell my mother and tried to give me a cut. I refused. Lily still didn't stop. If stealing the ID is too hard, I'll just get a fake one, she said casually one day. Autumn, you work at the bureau. You must know where to get one. Just stamp the certificate for me. I'm not going to prison for you, I said and walked away. The next morning, Lily blocked me inside the bathroom. Will you help me or not, she demanded. When I said no, she threw my breakfast into the trash. My parents stood by and said nothing. Not long after that, I was reported at work. Someone accused me of deliberately blocking a divorce case. The accusation came from a relative of Lily's friend. The story spread online, and strangers flooded the internet with insults and threats. My supervisor told me to take a few days off until things cooled down. When I got home, Lily was waiting for me, waving a fake ID triumphantly in her hand. I slapped her so hard she hit the floor. My parents rushed to attack me, but something inside me finally snapped. I smashed everything in sight: television, the vases, my father's fishing gear, my mother's instruments. They stood frozen in fear. If I lose my job, we all starve. I screamed. That night, I packed my bags and moved into an apartment I had secretly rented weeks earlier. Before leaving, I went to the potted plant. I replaced the remaining cash with realistic practice money used by banks. I took my rightful savings and walked out without looking back. After I moved out, life finally became quiet for a short while. A week later, the Civil Affairs Bureau finished its internal review and officially cleared my name. The accusation against me had been completely fabricated. The person who reported me was connected to Lily's friend, and the motive was obvious retaliation for my refusal to help. My supervisor apologized in private and asked me to return once the rumors died down. For the first time since my rebirth, I slept through the night without waking in fear. I thought that would be the end of it. I was wrong. One afternoon, just as I finished stamping documents and stood up to stretch, I heard shouting echo through the hall. People were turning their heads. Phones came out. Then Lily appeared in front of my desk, hair disheveled, eyes blazing, holding two bright red marriage certificates above her head like trophies. I did it, she screamed. I'm married to Alex. The room fell silent. She shoved the certificates into my hands. I barely needed a second glance. The paper was wrong. The seal was wrong. Even the font was wrong. They were obvious fakes, the kind that wouldn't survive 10 seconds of real inspection. Mom helped me find someone to stamp them, Lily said proudly, mistaking my silence for shock. See? You weren't even necessary. Before I could say anything, security rushed over and escorted her out. But the damage was already done. That night, Lily began posting photos of the certificates online, carefully blurring out the names and ID numbers. She wrote long captions about true love, hidden marriages, and protecting privacy. A gossip account reached out to her, and she sold what she called exclusive marriage details for $30,000. She called me afterward, laughing. "See," she said. "I'm making money just by being his wife." Within hours, the internet exploded. Secret celebrity marriage exposed climbed to the top of trending searches. Fans argued. Media outlets speculated. Then a grainy video surfaced of Alex holding hands with a woman wearing an orange jacket. The jacket looked exactly like one Lily owned. For a brief moment, even I felt a chill. Lily called me, her voice shaking with excitement. "Did you see it? He loves me." He finally realized he couldn't escape me. The next morning crushed that fantasy completely. Alex's studio released an official statement. He had never met Lily. He was filing a lawsuit for defamation and fraud. More importantly, he confirmed that he was already married to his childhood sweetheart, a highly educated woman from a wealthy family. The woman in the video was his real wife. The matching jacket was nothing more than a coincidence. Lily collapsed. My parents called me again and again, begging me to come home. When I finally did, the house looked like it had been hit by a storm. Furniture overturned. Glass shattered. Lily sat on the floor, hair tangled, crying until her voice broke. "Why?" she screamed when she saw me. "I loved him. I gave him everything. Because he's a real person," I said quietly, "not a character in your fantasies." Before she could answer, the doorbell rang. When I opened the door, Alex stood there with his legal team. He didn't shout. He didn't insult anyone. His calm was colder than anger. He looked at my parents and spoke plainly. "I was prepared to let this go because your daughter has no job and no influence," he said. "But this crossed every line. We'll see each other in court." Lily fainted. My parents tried to fix everything with money. They contacted lawyers who promised miracles and took their savings before disappearing. The stress was too much for my father. He suffered a stroke and collapsed. He survived, but his body never truly recovered. He could only move his eyes. My mother spent her days running between hospitals and courtrooms. Lily was sentenced to 3 years for forging official documents and fraud. I visited her once in prison. She looked smaller, quieter, hollowed out. "Why didn't you stop me?" she asked weakly. "If you had stopped me, I would have married that local guy and lived normally." I smiled softly. "You hated him. You wanted your idol. I just let you follow what you believed in." After Lily went to prison, my mother divorced my father and remarried a man she thought would give her security. Instead, she became an unpaid servant in his household and endured constant mistreatment. One day, she finally found the fake money under the potted plant and realized the real savings were gone. She never asked me about it. I never explained. Alex quietly retired from public life and disappeared with his wife. Lily was released from prison years later, but she couldn't accept a world where he wasn't hers. Not long after, she was committed to a psychiatric ward. As for me, I stayed where I was. I still work at the Civil Affairs Bureau. The line for marriage grows shorter every year. The line for divorce grows longer. Every time I press the stamp down on a document, I do it carefully, sincerely, and with one silent wish that anyone walking away from a bad life finds the courage to walk towards something better, freer, and finally their own.